Okay, so it was a trip to Shanghai. Like basically I was from the School of Engineering. So our teachers actually organized the overseas trip to Shanghai. But I think there was a quota of 40 students that they couldn't hit. So they tried to source from other courses.
So they organized the roadshow at the South Canteen, and 6 of us from my course then stumbled upon the roadshow, and we were like, hey, it's an overseas trip, why not? So we went. That was how we got on the same trip together to Shanghai. But we didn't meet each other during the trip. In fact, actually, we only saw each other post when we were in the group photos.
Yeah, actually when I saw her for the first time at the train station, I was like, did this person even go on this trip? I don't remember seeing her there.
Yeah, but I vividly remember turning back to him on the plane and going like, oh, so you are playing the game with him. Our first outing happened because a group of friends organised a hot pot together to go and meet up lah. So we agreed that before this meetup we would go down together, and so we met up before that to chat. Then he would argue that the first date is at Takashimaya, but I would argue saying that it's at Harbourfront.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 13 years since we've been together, so my memory's definitely a lot hazy. So
yeah, it's been 13 long
So anyway,
years.
that's how we met lah. Okay, so this one happened on our 10-year anniversary. So I decided to do it on the 10-year anniversary because to me it was quite significant that we've been together for like a decade. What I planned was, in the afternoon, I will just take her to 10 different spots that are very important in our relationship, like places that we spend a lot of time, places like, Takashimaya, places like Woodlands Waterfront. We spent the whole of the afternoon jumping between these 10 locations, taking a photo, a Polaroid photo actually. And then on the 10th location, which was at East Coast Park, that's where I proposed lah.
Yeah, that was the last thing on my mind because I never expected him to do it so publicly, because he is never a person that is public and open lah. So he's always been the very shy, not gonna do things in public with everybody staring at you type. So when I saw the proposal setting in East Coast Park, I was very taken aback, and I thought that it was for someone else instead. I never expected that it was for me actually. So there was a heart shape on the floor, and then he led me to the middle of the heart shape, and I was just like, wait, what is really happening?
Yeah, so I mean that happened during COVID, so I think that was in a way good because the places we visited was relatively empty, didn't have much people around, so I think it helped to vibe up the process.
So funny story, back then I was actually using prepaid card, and we needed to top up the cards quite often because we texted so much. So during one of the days, we actually bought a top-up card to top up the prepaid card, right? And we chucked it away without thinking twice. And then the next thing I know, I realized that the top-up didn't go through. But this one actually dug through the rubbish bin to find back the prepaid card, just so that I can top up the card again and we could continue texting.
Yeah, so for me, how I knew that she was the one was that, I don't know, we texted very often when we were just going out, right? So she really made me feel very comfortable. I mean, that's why I decided to go out with her in the first place. But I mean, after the first 2-3 years of us just going on dates, I realized that she made me like very, very comfortable. She was someone I could not hold anything back. I just talked to her very freely, very openly, and not being afraid of any judgment. So I guess that's one reason why I felt that she was the one for me.
I like that he is supportive in all that I do. He aspires me to dream bigger. I like that he catches my dark humor, and in fact goes sometimes even darker than what I expect him to. And I like that he is a very good listening ear.
Okay, so for me, the 3 reasons why I love her is that she's the person that makes me feel the safest in the world. She makes me feel the most comfortable to be myself around with. And honestly, she has been my pillar throughout the 13 years that we've been together. Yeah.
For me, I think what stands out is how during one of our many conversations, we found out that at my grandfather's wake, the 2 people that were cycling across was actually him and his friend. And then we went back even further and we found out that actually when my parents had a mama shop in Pasir Ris, that was the same area that he was staying in for the short 1 year that he was staying in Pasir Ris. Yeah, so I think that was more memorable for me because it showed that we really go way back and not just doing our time here in NYP.
Okay, so for me, I wouldn't boil it down to one memorable experience, but more of it's a collective of experiences, which is probably, traveling together. Even our short trips to like Batam, to JB, even our most recent trip to Japan, like exploring countries, whether it's somewhere we're familiar with or somewhere new. It always, it's so pleasant to share all these experiences with her, especially, So even when we're in Singapore, one of our favorite pastimes is just to drive around aimlessly, discovering new places. And to be honest, that's how we stumbled upon the Pasir Ris thing. Because I brought her to show where I used to stay when I just moved into Singapore, right? And then we realized that right below or the block, or opposite the block, was where her parents used to run a mini-mart during the same period I was staying in Pasir Ris. Carissa, I promise to love you more every day, and I promise that I will try my best to give you the life that you deserve.
Nicholas, I promise to always put up with your nonsense. I promise to always put up with your irritating and annoying parts. And I promise to always be a listening ear, to always be your best friend. I love you.
I love you too.